All right, Unit 4, Lesson 9, we're getting started talking about functions today. So this is not a very hard concept, so we're going to do the explore and the investigate in one day. So the warm-up is actually an activity guide that you will find on Google Classroom, and it is just a song lyrics. So right there, it's a PDF. It's not something that you have to do. You're just going to look it over. So style 1 on the left side is listing as if this was code. It's listing every line of a song on a separate, or every kind of sentence or whatever part of a song on a different line. And you can find, here's the chorus right here. And you see that repeated throughout. And then looking over at style 2, you'll see the same song, but instead of the chorus, you'll notice that it just says sing chorus. The lyrics are below. And then down on the bottom, it shows the chorus lyrics down like that. So answering a couple of questions. In style 1, what line of the song do you sing after line 9? Looking at it again, after line 9, you're going to sing "So Wake Me Up When It's All Over." What about in style 2? What do you sing after line 9? After line 9, we sing the chorus, which is "So Wake Me Up When It's All Over." Style 2 uses fewer lines to write. Are there fewer lyrics to sing? Looking at the two examples, we're still singing all of these words, and we're still singing them this many times. There's like 5 times. It's just that we're not spelling it all out every single time, right? So it uses less lines, but we're still doing the same amount of work. And what are the benefits of writing a song in style 2? Hopefully you could tell that it would benefit you by having less lines to write. You could fit it in a smaller amount of pages or whatever if you were writing a book of songs, and just knowing that you're just going to refer to the chorus whenever it is needed. And songbooks are like that. So makes a lot of sense. Now we are going to investigate this concept in code. So whenever we need to use the same bit of code over and over again, we can just write it in one area as what we call a function, and then just refer to it whenever we need to repeat that section of code. So we're going to navigate to Bubble 2 on code.org, Lesson 9 from Unit 4, and just explore just a little bit. And this one, it says that you've got the lyrics of a song, and if you scroll through here, you can see that it is the same song. So "Wake Me Up When It's All Over," you can see that. There are a few places where the program skips the chorus. Run the program to see how it works. Pay attention to what happens when the program sings the chorus. Add code to make the program sing the chorus. There are comments to tell you where to add the code. So if you run this, and make sure that you are fairly slow when you run this so that you will see the highlighting. And I also recommend running it in text mode, so it will highlight. So here it's going through the lines of the song and printing them down here in the console log. Now watch when it gets to sing chorus. It's going to skip down below where we have a function called sing chorus, and it includes all 4 lines of the chorus. Then we go back, we make sure that we actually completed that line, and we skip to the next line, which is again sing chorus. So it skips back down there to the function of sing chorus and does what is included in that block of code. I will go ahead and stop that while it's ahead. And we want to add the code to make the program sing the chorus, and we're looking for where the comments are telling us to add that. So if we look down through here, we're looking for comments. That's chorus, that's verse 2. Chorus, here it says, add code here to sing the chorus twice. So what we can do simply is to copy and paste This is the name of the function. It includes all the syntax that we need, and we'll just paste. Sorry, that was probably right in the microphone. And twice it says, so we're just going to put it on there twice. Then the bridge, then chorus, add code here to sing the chorus once. So we'll go ahead and add it right there as well. And that's all it tells us to do on this step. So moving on. The next bubble is a video, and you definitely need to watch this video, but you should pause me, go watch the video on bubble 3, and then come back and join me for the rest. Welcome back. We are now on bubble 4, and the first thing that this asks you to do is to read the program and predict how it will run. Then you'll run it and see if you were right, pretty much. So there's not a whole lot of lines here. I would suggest to take the time, pause me, and really look through this line by line. Reading the comments helps tremendously. You can switch to block mode if that helps you to visualize different kind of segments of code, like the on event handler or the function handler down below. But on text mode, you can see that anything that's all the way to the left, your left, is going to be the beginning of that handler, and it doesn't end until you see these brackets and the ending semicolon. Go ahead and do that and then come back here. So you probably could tell that you're clicking the up button or the down button, and the program is keeping track of your current score. But something else that is in the function is this if statement. It's checking to see if you have more than 10 counts or you have less than -5 counts, or when you get to 10 or -5, that it sets you to the game over screen. So it's checking for that constantly as well. So looking a little bit closer, on what line is the update screen functions being declared? So look for everywhere that you see update screen, and you see it here on number 6, you see it here on line 12, you see it here on line 19, and that is all. I'm sorry. That's when it's being called. I already messed up. So it's being declared on line 23. That's where we're setting up the function, but it's being called on those other 3 lines in those other 3 locations. How does the update screen function make the program easier to write and understand? Hopefully you can tell that if we didn't have those functions, we would have all of this in all 3 of those other places. It would increase the amount of code that we have to look at, and therefore it's like whenever you have a lot of instructions, but if you can kind of shrink it down into bullet points, or like a 1A, B, C, that kind of thing. So you're kind of creating a hierarchy, and functions kind of take out all the jumble and let you just see those main bullet points, so that in the end, it's easier for you to see what's happening within your code. So our next task is going to be to modify some things. So first of all, we want to change the program to make the game end when the score is 15 or greater. So right now it checks to see if it is greater than or equal to 10. So we can simply just change that to 15. Next, change the program to make the game end when the score is -10 or less. So it currently says -10, or sorry, less than or equal to -5. And now we'll update that to -10. Change the program to make it display the word clicks. Notice that this is a string that includes a space before the word clicks after the count as you play the game. So we're looking for, where is it going to display our, where is it displaying our current score? And I guess that's right here, count display label. Yes, we want it to display the current count, the current value of the variable count, but then we're going to concatenate and add the string space clicks. We good? Looks like we're good. And let's see if it works. 0 clicks, 1 clicks, 2 clicks. Okay, so that part works. Anything else? Nope, I think we're good on that one. So let me know if you have any questions as you're sitting there at home. Functions are pretty easy to understand, especially using the image of the chorus of a song. It's a really great example. We're moving on to bubble 5. All right, this is the Lemon Squeeze app that you worked with earlier. It has repeated blocks of code that should be replaced by a function. So first, look inside the event handler for the lemon and lime to find the repeated code. And then you're going to replace the repeated blocks of code with a single function called update screen that you declare once but call twice. So let's look at what we have first. Take a minute, pause me, go look through the code and see what is going on in there, looking especially for anything that is repeated that you're going to be able to put into a function. So I have highlighted here the code that I found that was repeated more than once. And there are, so a thing about functions is whenever you set up a function, you have to write, the function name and then all the lines of code that go inside that function. And then you have to call the function. So if the lines of code inside the function are 3, and then you put the label on it and then you call it, you're actually using 5 lines of code for a single command. And so you have to make sure that whatever you're replacing is worth it. If you are changing 6 lines of code into 5 lines of code, well, yes, it's less lines of code, but is it really worth it if you're just doing it that one time? So in this case, we're looking for anything that is significant. So we've got, and this is just a comment, so that doesn't even count, but we've got these 4 lines of code there, plus this one here. And then you see the same lines of code down here. And so that's what we're looking to change into a function. And if you remember what they said in the video about functions, it is better if you put them at the bottom of your code. That's very typical. So right now we don't have anything. This is all our on event right there. So we want it to be after that. So we're going to go to the very bottom and give us a couple of lines. And then you can add comments here if you want to and say function. I don't know if I have to have a space there. Let me function to what am I doing? Update the screen. That's basically what we're doing. Let me make sure I don't have any other things. Nope. And then I'm going to call that function update screen. It tells me right there. So next line, I have to say function. And you can pull it over here. So functions are green. You can pull it over if you prefer to do that. And I call it, oops, space. Oops. Update screen, and then end with parentheses. And now, when you're starting with functions, though, because sometimes there's brackets, sometimes there's semicolons, and you want to make sure that you're not forgetting anything, it might be probably better to go ahead and put that in there. See, here was like an open bracket thingy and a closed bracket thingy, and you might not have gotten the right one on there, or I might not have gotten the right one on there. Okay, so we're going to take everything that we want, and I am going to actually cut it. No, I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to copy it and paste. And then just make sure it looks right. Okay, everything is indented inside there. It looks good. Now you'll notice that there's a little warning right now. It says that you've defined your function, but you haven't called it in your program. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to take all this out and we're going to call it. What are we going to call it? Why did it? Oh, also I didn't name it. Yeah, let's do that. Update screen. Okay. Now I'm going to take all this stuff, if I can actually get a hold of it all, and I'm going to just say update screen, open parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon. So let's look and make sure that looks good. Function update screen. I'm going to move the lemon and lime to random locations. Then I'm going to update the screen text. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take all this out and I'm just going to say update screen, open parentheses, oops, close parentheses, semicolon. And then I can just run the program again and make sure everything works correctly, which I will do now. And it worked out fine. So, yay! So one thing to just kind of note about this, that update screen now helps my code be better organized. I've reduced the amount of repeated code. Lengthy code is not a bad thing, unless you just have a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. So if you have anything, any block of code that you're repeating, add a function in there, and then all you got to do is call the function. And especially with things like this, where it's going to be repeated multiple times, possibly as someone were to play a game, that's when it's really beneficial. Let's move on to bubble set 6. So here's just a visualization of the functions called update screen. So what it should have shown you. And this is just an example. This is not from the one that we just did, I don't think. But most of the App Lab projects are going to run in a similar way. They're going to be interactive by the user. So when the user clicks a button, a certain thing's going to happen. It's going to update the variable, and then you're going to want to reset the screen, right, to update maybe the current count or move things around on the screen like the lemon and limes. And so it is always a important step as you're creating anything out now from now on, that you're looking for things like that in your code. What is going to happen every time they click the button? And can I say that instead of saying it in 5 lines? Can I make a function and then I just have to call that function over and over again? And that's going to keep your code organized. Another thing it does really is to make sure that that you have put the same thing happening every single time, that you haven't missed a step. If you're having to write steps 1 through 4 every time in your code, and even copying and pasting, sometimes you can miss something. So writing a function for it ensures that it's going to happen the exact same way every single time. Some key vocab from today's lesson. Function is just a group of programming instructions that you name, and it can also be called a procedure. Function call is a one-line command that is going to execute all the code in the function. The last thing that you'll need to do is go to Google Classroom and take the closing question quiz. You'll find that right there, Unit 4, Lesson 9, closing questions.